Oh, this should be in the Alienation before Yaron Ben Yerachmiel. So what we talked last time about a reversing alienation, and let's talk about reversing alienation part 2. What is alienation? Alienation is basically if I feel like an alien among a big nation. Alienation is I feel like an alien among a big nation. How do we reverse that? Rabbi Zelig Pliskin in his book here, Begin Again Now, a concise encyclopedia of strategies for living A to Z, tells us under the excerpt here, Alienation, that when we have a view, a mindset, an understanding that other people around us have so many things in common, then we resonate with them and we feel connected, even if we don't say much. When I hear somebody talk and I think, wow, that's cool, I get that. I hear that, that's cool, I get that. Oh, that's similar to me. I would feel the same way. So all of a sudden, I'm feeling really connected. Also, think about, what's amazing to me? If you hear somebody come out of the hospital, and God forbid we shouldn't go to the hospital only for wellness, and they say, I made an unusual friend. Let's just make up names for a minute. I don't want to use any, clients' names from our practice. Let's just say Betty. No, let's say Tom comes out and he said, I met Ricardo. Let's say Tom is 72 years old and Ricardo is a 35-year-old Latino. He's a 72-year-old, Southwest, contractor. And normally, they might not have ever crossed paths. This guy, let's say the Latino, is a school teacher, an artist, very sensitive, an amazing guy, single, Ricardo. And Tom is a family man and a churchgoer. And they're really so different. Their political orientation is different. So it could be that, let's say, Ricardo has a sense of alienation. They both do. They're in the hospital. They feel sick. They feel alone. And yet they strike up a conversation because they're roommates. What is that? What is that? How is it they don't feel all alone in an alien in a big nation of the hospital? I think the reason is because they have an automatic positive thinking pattern called we have a lot in common right now, which is we're both in the hospital. We're both going through some sort of procedure. We both wish we weren't here. And so seeing those automatic connections, they feel comfortable. They sort of open up to each other. It's a vulnerable time and they feel connected. And they come out and say, wow, I made this friend. Sometimes they even keep friendships like that. The question is, can we apply that to our lives? Can we realize that if we could see and understand we have so much human in common, with so much human in common, we let the religious titles and jobs and self-identities divide us all the time. I remember a beautiful thing. I had an intern in Chicago, and he said to me one time that when he was younger, he had really felt always like socially, not included. He said one day he's working on himself, he got clear that he no longer felt that way. And when he went inside a synagogue, he felt, I belong here. And he said, why? Because I'm here. In other words, life, God, the divine has put me here and he wants me to be here. And so it doesn't matter what I think these people think, I belong here. And so it went. And I think implicit in that is also this sense that I'm a human and God put me here. And these people are humans and God put them there. And we're both here in very similar circumstances when you take a bird's eye view. And so the whole point of all these examples is to say this, as the rabbi says here, the common bond will give us a feeling of relatedness. This common bond will give us a feeling of relatedness will help. So we could manually work on this. Try to, okay, so if I'm in a place and I don't feel connected, so maybe I can find some common bonds, that will, help us feel connected. And an amazing way to do that is also just to understand people. I think one of the biggest sort of indirect benefits of being a therapist or a coach is that if we are doing our job right, we're doing a lot of listening carefully. And as we listen carefully and we get to know people, we understand where they're coming from. And a lot of times we can relate, and even if it's in a very sort of indirect way. And as we relate, we feel more connected to them, and they do to us, which is an amazing gift. I appreciate every day. It's such a great thing. And then we get to connect with people who we otherwise might really think we're different from, and not be able to connect with. So let's work on finding those things. And another tool besides just having new ideas in our minds is to actually try to understand the person in front of us, where they're coming from, what they're like. And we may need to, even if we're in conversation, ask them questions, open-ended questions that can help us get to know them. And in getting to know them, understanding them, we will feel more connected, and we will obliterate our sense of alienation. Have a blessed day, and thank you all for the opportunity to share these ideas and their application.